Family, let me talk to you today about something that will save your heart, your time, and your destiny. See, a lot of brothers out here are falling into traps not because women are smarter, but because men are distracted by the wrong things. When a woman is really for you, her actions will line up with her words. But when a woman is using you, she knows how to dress her intentions with sweet lies. She knows how to charm you with words that make your ego feel good while she's draining your energy, your resources, and your purpose. I came to expose those lies today because a lie that goes undetected becomes a life sentence. But once you can recognize it, you can break free. Brothers, let me tell you something that you may not have been told before, but it's one of the most important truths you can ever grab hold of. The words of a woman carry power. The words of a woman can either build you up into the man God has called you to be, or those words can cut you down into a shell of yourself if you're not discerning. And see, here's the thing. When a woman is using you, she understands that power, and she doesn't come at you with a knife in her hand. No, she comes at you with honey on her tongue. She doesn't come speaking death directly. She comes speaking sweet nothings that sound like life but lead to death. And if you're not awake, you will mistake manipulation for love, and you will confuse control for care. You have to recognize, family, that a woman doesn't even have to put her hands on you to control you. All she has to do is know the right words to say to get into your head. And I'm talking to some man right now who has been replaying conversations in his mind, conversations where she said all the right things, and you thought, she really sees me, she really gets me. But what you didn't realize is she was studying you, not to love you, but to use you. See, when somebody really loves you, they don't study you just to exploit your weaknesses. They study you to cover you, to support you, to strengthen you. But when somebody is using you, they study you to figure out the access points, the codes to the lock of your heart so they can get in and take what they want. Words are like seeds, and when a woman is using you, she will plant seeds of flattery, seeds of illusion, seeds of comfort that are not rooted in reality. She'll tell you things that appeal to your ego, things that make you lower your guard, things that cause you to ignore the red flags that are waving right in front of you. And the reason it works, brothers, is because too many of us are hungry for affirmation. Too many of us are so starved for someone to tell us that we're enough, that we're strong, that we're worthy, that we'll take it from anybody who offers it, even if their intentions are crooked. Let me ask you a hard question. Who has your ear? Because whoever has your ear has your future. If the wrong woman has your ear, she can delay your destiny by years, even decades, because she's speaking words that sound sweet but are designed to steer you off course. And this is how men end up broke, drained, confused, stuck, because they believed a voice that was never speaking truth. It was only speaking strategy. She wasn't trying to love you, she was trying to leverage you. And you got to know the difference. When a woman is using you, her words don't come to challenge you to be better, they come to pacify you while she gets what she wants. A real woman, a woman sent by God, she's going to speak into your spirit. She's going to confirm what God already put in you. She's going to hold you accountable to your greatness. But a manipulative woman, she's going to tell you exactly what you want to hear to keep you asleep. Because a sleeping man is easier to control than a conscious man. Think about it. Why do you think some of you have stayed in relationships long past the expiration date? It's because of words. She tells you, I love you, but her actions don't match. She tells you, I'll change, but nothing ever changes. She tells you, I'm with you, but every time you need her, she disappears. And you stay, not because you see fruit, but because you keep clinging to words. Brothers, words without action are lies with perfume. They may smell good, but they are still poison. Now let me break this down further. The enemy has always used words as the entry point. Go back to the Garden of Eden. The serpent didn't touch Eve. He talked to her. He deceived her with conversation. And the same strategy is being used. A woman who is using you doesn't need force. She just needs conversation. She just needs to find the right phrase, the right compliment, the right promise. And once she gets it into your ears, it makes its way into your mind and then into your heart. And once it's in your heart, it will govern your decisions. That's why Proverbs says, guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it flow the issues of life. How do things get into your heart? Through your ears. So, brothers, you've got to put up a guard. You can't let every word into your spirit. You've got to test the spirit of those words. Don't just ask, does it sound good? Ask, does it line up with reality? Does it line up with action? Does it line up with God's truth? Because the problem is not that the lies are ugly. The problem is that the lies are beautiful. They sound sweet. They sound loving. They sound spiritual even, but behind them is a motive. Some of you have been walking around discouraged, not because of what was done to you, but because of what was said to you. A lie got into your spirit and you've been wrestling with it. She told you, you're the only one I've ever felt this way about. And now when she pulls away, you're left questioning your worth. She told you, I don't care about money, and yet she drained you financially, and now you're left questioning your discernment. Family, listen to me. The lies don't just take your money, they take your peace. They don't just take your time, they take your confidence. That's why you can't let them in unchecked. Here's the truth. A man who knows who he is cannot be destroyed by lies. When you know who you are, you don't need flattery. When you know your value, you don't need somebody to stroke your ego just to feel like a man. And when you know your purpose, you don't get distracted by sweet talk that has no foundation. The only reason lies work is because we haven't settled in truth. So I'm telling you today, brothers, wake up. Pay attention to the words being spoken over you. Don't just let your ears be tickled. Test the fruit. Watch the consistency. See if her life matches her language. And if it doesn't, stop making excuses. Stop holding on to potential and call it what it is, a lie. Because once you can identify the lie, you break its power. And when you break the power of the lie, you set yourself free to receive the truth. And when you receive the truth, you step into the life God really has for you. Brother, let's deal with one of the most dangerous sweet lies that a woman who is using you will speak into your ears. You're different from all the other men. Now that sounds good, doesn't it? It hits you right in the center of your ego. It feels like finally somebody sees you. Finally somebody recognizes your uniqueness. Finally somebody validates what you've been trying to prove your whole life, that you're not like everybody else. But let me tell you, when this lie comes from the mouth of a manipulative woman, it's not celebration, it's strategy. She is not affirming you, she is disarming you. See, men thrive on feeling special. We want to know that out of all the options, out of all the choices, we stand out. And when you're not rooted in who you are, when you don't already know your own value, that line will catch you every single time. She knows that. She knows that if she can convince you that you are one of a kind in her world, you will drop your guard. You will walk cold the red flags. You will justify the inconsistencies. You will invest more than you should because you're trying to live up to the different man she says you are. But brother, here's the reality. If a woman is truly for you, she doesn't have to tell you that you're different. She shows you by how she treats you. When you are truly valued, it shows up in sacrifice, in consistency, in loyalty, in presence. But when you are being used, it shows up in empty words that make you feel high in the moment but leave you low in reality. And this lie, you're different, is not really about you, it's about her. It's about what she needs you to believe so that she can maneuver freely in your life. Let me break it down. That lie is bait. It's like a fisherman throwing a lure in the water. The lure shines, it sparkles, it looks like food to the fish, but it's not food. It's a hook dressed up as food. And when the fish bites, the hook gets in its mouth and suddenly it's not free anymore. That's exactly how this works. She says, you're not like all the other men and you bite because it looks like honor, but what you don't see is the hook of manipulation buried inside of it. And the moment you bite, you are caught. Now, I'm not saying every woman who says that phrase is a manipulator. Sometimes, yes, a woman can genuinely see a quality in you that sets you apart. But here's the difference. When it's real, her actions will match her words. When it's fake, her actions will contradict her words. If you're so different from all the other men, why does she still treat you like the last one? If you're so unique, why does she still respond to you with the same games she played before? If you're so valuable, why is her behavior not showing value? Don't just hear the words. Watch the fruit. Some of you have been held hostage by this very line. She told you you're different, and now you feel obligated to prove her right. You're overcompensating. You're pouring out resources, you're bending over backwards, you're sacrificing your own dignity just to prove to her that you are indeed the man she said you were. But hear me, you don't have to prove to anybody that you're different when God already made you different. The fact that you are breathing, the fact that you are walking in your purpose, the fact that you have a calling on your life makes you different without anybody's confirmation. Don't let flattery make you a slave. And here's the tricky part. Flattery feels like love when you've been starved of affirmation. A lot of men never had a father tell them, son, you are enough, you are strong, you are capable, you are worthy. So when a woman comes and speaks those words, it feels like water to a thirsty soul. But family, you've got to be careful who you let quench your thirst. Not every cup has clean water. Some cups look refreshing but are filled with poison. And just because it feels good doesn't mean it is good. This is why discernment is so critical. You've got to ask yourself, why is she saying this? What is the context? What happens after she says it? Because manipulation is not in the statement, it's in the strategy. If she tells you you're different, and then right after that she starts asking for favors, asking for money, asking for you to compromise, that's not affirmation, that's a setup. She buttered you up to soften you for the ask. And some of you keep falling into this cycle because you don't realize the pattern. Think about the last time she told you that. You're not like the others. How long after that did she come with a request? How long after that did she need something from you? How long after that did she push past your boundaries? That's not coincidence. That's choreography. She planned that, brother. And you're not dumb for falling for it. You're human. But now that you see the pattern, you can't keep falling for it. Let me take you deeper. When a woman says you're different, she's often implying that all the other men were failures. She's subtly telling you her past was full of disappointment. And now you're the exception. But watch this. Sometimes that's not true. Sometimes she's painting a narrative of victimhood to get you to play the role of savior. She wants you to rescue her from her bad experiences. And you, wanting to be the hero, jump right into the role. But the truth is, you can't save somebody who isn't willing to save themselves. You can't fix somebody who doesn't want healing. You can't build a future on pity. So here's what you've got to do. When she says you're different, don't just soak it up, test it. Watch the consistency of her behavior. Ask yourself, is she really treating me with the respect of someone who is different? Is she honoring my time, my resources, my boundaries, my spirit? Or is she simply feeding my ego to gain access to my wallet, my strength, my presence? The real problem with this lie is not that she said it. The real problem is that you wanted to hear it. You wanted to believe it. And because you wanted it, you didn't question it. Brothers, you can't be so desperate for affirmation that you accept it from the wrong source. If you're not careful, you will let the wrong lips define your worth. And when the wrong lips define your worth, they also get to control your direction. But here's the truth. You don't need her to tell you you're different. God already said it. The scripture says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. The scripture says you are a royal priesthood, a chosen generation. That means before she ever opened her mouth, God had already stamped uniqueness on your life. And when you know that, you won't fall for flattery because you already know your identity. So I'm telling you, family, stop letting people buy your soul with cheap compliments. Stop letting sweet lies run your life. Don't let your different be the hook that keeps you stuck in cycles of use and abuse. Stand on the truth of who you are. When you know the truth, you don't need manipulation to feel secure. When you know the truth, you can smile and say, yes, I am different, but I don't need you to tell me. I know it already. And once you know it, you'll never again fall for the trap. Brother, let's talk about another one of those sweet lies that women who are using you will speak with such conviction that you start to believe it in your bones. I've never felt this way before. Oh, doesn't that sound good? It feels like you've just stepped into a love story. It feels like out of all the billions of men in this world, somehow you have unlocked emotions in her that no man has ever touched. You feel like you're the chosen one, the exception, the miracle she's been waiting for. And when your ears are hungry for love, that statement feels like water in a desert. But I came to tell you today, be careful, because that's not always love. It can be a strategy. See, manipulators understand that men want to feel irreplaceable. Every man has a desire to know that what he gives a woman, no other man can provide. We want to believe we're the first to make her laugh that hard, the first to make her blush, the first to make her feel butterflies. And when a woman is using you, she knows that desire. She knows how to stroke your imagination, how to put you in a mental space where you start to think, wow, I must be extraordinary. And once she has you thinking that way, you will overlook things you should be paying attention to because you don't want to disrupt this special connection. But brother, let me wake you up. If you're the fifth man she's told, I've never felt this way before, then guess what? It's not a revelation, it's a routine. It's not evidence of depth, it's evidence of performance. That phrase is a script, and you are simply the next actor in the play. Don't confuse repetition for rarity. Let's break this down. When somebody tells you they've never felt this way before, the question you have to ask is, what actions follow that statement? Because feelings are not proven in words, they are proven in consistency. Anybody can say, you've awakened something in me that no one else has, but if her behavior is the same manipulative, selfish pattern she had with everybody else, then the statement is empty. It's sugar-coated deception. Here's the danger. When a woman tells you she's never felt this way before, she is also putting pressure on you to live up to that narrative. Suddenly, you feel like you can't let her down because if you're the only man who's made her feel this way, then you can't afford to walk away. She has tied your worth to her supposed experience. But family, listen, her words don't define your worth, and her emotions don't define your obligations. You don't owe anybody permanence just because they claim to feel something new. Some of you have been trapped by this very line. She said, I've never felt this way before. And you thought that meant you had to invest everything, you had to keep her happy, you had to go above and beyond because clearly this was something sacred. But months later, when she left you drained and empty, you realized that what she said wasn't about you, it was about securing access to what she wanted. That's why you've got to look past the statement and examine the substance. If she's never felt this way before, then why does she treat you with the same lack of respect she gave to the last man? If she's never felt this way before, then why is she not showing gratitude, honor, and commitment to nurture this connection? Real feelings birth real fruit. Counterfeit feelings only birth more lies. Let me also warn you about this. When somebody says, I've never felt this way before, it's often an attempt to speed up intimacy. It's a way of bypassing the natural process of building trust, building friendship, building foundation. It's a shortcut. It's like pressing the fast forward button on a movie. And you've got to ask yourself, why does she want to rush this? What is she trying to avoid? Because love that is real doesn't need to rush. It builds, it grows, it matures. But manipulation is always in a hurry because lies have an expiration date. She has to get what she wants before the mask falls off. And let's be real. Some of us men fall for this because deep down, we want to be saviors. We want to be the man who finally unlocked the locked heart, the one who healed the hurt, the one who made her feel alive again. That makes us feel powerful. But hear me, you are not responsible for healing someone else's wounds with your presence. If she has unhealed pain, it's not your love that will fix it. It's her willingness to do the work. And if she's using you, she's not even interested in healing. She's only interested in having a crutch. Brothers, don't let words blind you to reality. Test the truth behind the statement. Does her life align with her claim? Is she showing effort, sacrifice, loyalty? Or is she simply saying what she knows will unlock your heart and open your wallet? You've got to be bold enough to ask those questions. Because the truth is, she may have felt this way before many times. She may have said it to every man she encountered. And if you don't discern that, you'll think you're rare when you're really just part of a cycle. This lie is dangerous because it not only traps you, it blinds you to accountability. When you think you're the only one who ever made her feel this way, you stop questioning her inconsistencies. You give her a pass. You start thinking, well, maybe she's busy, maybe she's tired, maybe she's just going through something because you don't want to risk losing this special bond. But let me tell you, any bond built on lies is already broken. It's just a matter of time before you feel the weight of the collapse. The truth, family, is that you don't need anyone to tell you, I've never felt this way before, to validate your manhood. Your manhood is not tied to her feelings. Your manhood is tied to your purpose, your integrity, your obedience to God's plan for your life. And when you know that, you won't be seduced by sweet words that have no foundation. You'll smile and say, that sounds nice, but I need to see proof. So here's what I want you to take away. Don't let your ego write checks your discernment can't cash. Don't let flattery rob you of your clarity. A woman who truly loves you won't just tell you you're different. She'll show you through loyalty. She won't just tell you she's never felt this way before. She'll prove it by standing by you in the hard seasons, not just the convenient ones. And if her words don't match her walk, you've got to be man enough to say, I won't be bound by lies, no matter how sweet they sound. Because at the end of the day, the truth will set you free, but a lie will keep you chained. And you, brother, were never created to live in chains. You were created to walk as a king, rooted in truth, not swayed by flattery, not manipulated by empty promises, but anchored in the reality of who you are. Brother, let's dive into another one of these sweet lies that a woman who is using you will whisper in your ear to keep you blind. I just want to spend time with you. Now that sounds innocent, doesn't it? Sounds almost pure. What man wouldn't want to believe that a woman is so wrapped up in his presence that all she desires is his company? It feels good to think that you are her peace, her joy, her comfort zone. But let me open your eyes today. When a woman is using you, that statement isn't about quality time, it's about beneficial time. It's not that she wants your presence, it's that she wants your provision. See, here's the trick. She knows you want to feel wanted. Every man wants to believe that his presence alone is enough. Every man wants to feel like he's the center of her world. So she feeds you this line, I just want to spend time with you, and immediately your heart opens. You think she's simple, low maintenance, different from the rest. But when you really examine it, you notice a pattern. The time she wants always cost you something. Notice it, brother. She doesn't just want to sit on the couch with you and talk. She doesn't just want to walk through the park holding hands. She doesn't just want to enjoy your energy without expense. No, she wants to spend time at restaurants, at the mall, on trips, at events that always require you to swipe your card. So what she's really saying is not, I just want your time, but I want the lifestyle your time gives me access to. And here's the part that hurts. Some of you don't realize it because your ego is wrapped up in being a provider. You like the fact that she wants to spend time in places you can pay for. It makes you feel like a man. But if you strip away the dinners, the gifts, the tickets, the trips, would she still be there? If the only thing you offered was your presence, your conversation, your wisdom, your spirit, would she still crave that time? That's the question you've got to wrestle with. Because family, let me tell you the truth, love will sit with you in an empty room. Love will laugh with you on a park bench. Love will find joy in silence. But a user can't survive in simplicity. A user needs the glitter, the extras, the perks. Because she's not there for you, she's there for what's attached to you. Some of you have been deceived by this very lie. She tells you she just wants to be with you. But notice how she never comes around when you're tired, when you're struggling, when you don't have anything to offer. She only shows up when the table is set. She only shows up when she can eat from your hand. That's not love, brother. That's opportunism. Now, let me go a little deeper. Sometimes this lie is used not only for money, but for control. I just want to spend time with you becomes a guilt trip. She'll use it to pull you away from your purpose, from your work, from your friends, from your family. And because it sounds so sweet, you don't realize what's happening. She'll say, why are you always busy? Why don't you just spend more time with me? But her desire is not to grow with you, it's to keep you distracted. She wants your time because time is the one thing you can't get back, And if she can monopolize your time, she can slow down your destiny. You've got to discern the difference between a woman who wants to build with you and a woman who just wants to consume your hours. Building looks like supporting your mission, understanding your responsibilities, encouraging you in your calling. Consuming looks like constant demands, constant neediness, constant pulling that leaves you drained. One invests, the other depletes. Here's what you need to understand. I just want to spend time with you is a testable statement. You can test it by changing the context. Suggest something simple, something free, something that doesn't involve your money. Suggest sitting on the porch and talking. Suggest cooking together at home instead of going out. Suggest walking through the neighborhood instead of going to the mall. If her energy shifts, if her enthusiasm drops, if suddenly she's not interested, then you've got your answer. She didn't want time with you. She wanted the benefits tied to your time. And brothers, hear me. Don't confuse attention with affection. Just because she wants your time doesn't mean she wants your heart. Some women want your time because it keeps them entertained. Some want your time because it keeps them funded. Some want your time because it strokes their ego to know they can pull you away from everything else. That's not love. That's selfishness dressed in sweetness. The Bible says, by their fruits you will know them. So examine the fruit. What does her time with you produce? Do you leave those moments feeling stronger, wiser, encouraged? Or do you leave feeling lighter in your wallet and heavier in your spirit? Because time should build you, not break you. Real love doesn't drain, it replenishes. Real love doesn't demand endlessly, it gives sacrificially. Let me tell you something I've learned. A woman who truly loves you will not always demand time. She will respect time. She will know when to give you space, when to let you focus, when to support you in silence. She won't always pull on you because she understands that your time is valuable and that your purpose is bigger than her entertainment. But a woman who is using you doesn't care about balance. She just wants access because her only concern is what she can extract. And here's the challenge for you, brother. Stop being seduced by flattery and start demanding substance. Don't be so happy that someone wants your time that you forget to evaluate why they want it. Time is the most precious thing you have. Money you can make again. Opportunities you can find again. But time you'll never get back. And if you waste it on someone who only wanted what you could provide, you will wake up years later with regret in your chest. So the next time a woman tells you, I just want to spend time with you, pause and watch. Don't rush to believe it. Test it. Evaluate it. Ask yourself, what does she do with the time I give her? Does she invest back into me, or does she only take? Does she help me become better, or does she leave me worse? Because the truth is in the fruit. And if the fruit is rotten, don't hold on to the tree just because the shade feels good. Cut it off and free yourself for something real. Because when the right woman comes, she won't have to beg for your time. Her presence will be so full of peace, so full of partnership that you'll want to give it. And she won't need expensive outings to validate your bond. She'll find joy in your presence alone. That's how you'll know it's real. So I say to you, brother, don't be fooled by sweet lies. Don't let I just want to spend time with you trap you in a cycle of being used. Guard your hours, guard your energy, guard your purpose, and only invest your time in someone who values the man, not the money, the heart, not the perks, the spirit, not the status. Because at the end of the day, your time is too precious to be wasted on lies disguised as love. Brother, now let's open our eyes to one of the most poisonous sweet lies that a woman who is using you will put in your ear. You're the only one I talk to. Doesn't that sound good? Doesn't that stroke your ego in a way that makes you sit up straighter? It feels like you've been crowned king in her life, like every other man has been dismissed, like the competition doesn't even exist. And that's exactly why she says it, because she knows how badly you want to feel like the only one. But when a woman is using you, her words are not designed to reveal truth. They're designed to cover tracks. Let me break it down. When she says, "You're the only one I talk to," it creates a false sense of security. It's like putting a warm blanket over your eyes. You stop looking, you stop questioning, you stop paying attention because in your mind there's no one else to worry about. You relax, you invest more, you lower your guard because why would you compete if she already told you there is no competition? But brother, don't let the blanket of words blind you to the cold of reality. A manipulative woman knows that one of the deepest fears a man has is being one of many. No man wants to be an option. We want to be the choice. We want to know we've been set apart. And so she tells you it's just you, baby. I don't talk to anyone else. Not because it's true, but because it's the quickest way to silence your discernment. Because if you believe you're the only one, you won't go looking for proof. If you believe you're the only one, you'll explain away her shady behavior, her late replies, her hidden phone, her secretive habits. But family, here's the truth. When words don't align with evidence, you're not hearing truth. You're hearing manipulation. And evidence doesn't lie. If she says you're the only one, but her phone never leaves her hand, her notifications are always cleared, her stories don't add up, her schedule is full of mysteries, then brother, she's not talking to you only. She's just telling you that so you won't ask questions. See, I've learned that when someone has to overemphasize exclusivity with words, it's usually because exclusivity doesn't exist in reality. Think about it. A woman who truly values you, who is truly focused on you, doesn't need to constantly reassure you that you're the only one. Her actions will scream it. You'll see it in how she prioritizes you, how she makes herself available, how she consistently invests. But when she's using you, she'll talk big but live small. Her lips will say, "Only you," but her lifestyle will say, "Whoever benefits me most." And let me be honest, sometimes we men want the lie. We want to believe it's just us, even when the signs say otherwise. We don't want the discomfort of asking hard questions. We don't want to risk the illusion of being special. So we let the lie rock us to sleep. But here's the danger. When you sleep on lies, you wake up in betrayal. Some of you already feel it. You feel that gut instinct that something isn't right. You sense that the timing doesn't add up, that the stories don't line up, that the energy doesn't feel exclusive. But every time that feeling rises, she soothes it with, "Baby, I don't even talk to anyone else, it's just you." And you let the sweet lies silence your spirit. But brother, never let words cancel out what your spirit already knows. The Spirit of God gave you discernment for a reason. Let me make this plain. If you're the only one she talks to, why does she treat you like you're one of many? Why does she go missing when you need her? Why does she only respond when she needs something? Why do her actions look like convenience, not commitment? If you're the only one, Shouldn't her effort match her words? But when a woman is using you, effort is never on the table, only extraction. She'll give you just enough words to keep you hooked, but never enough truth to set you free. And here's another layer. Sometimes you're the only one I talk to is not even about other men, it's about isolation. She wants you to believe she has no one else, so you will feel responsible for meeting every single one of her needs. Emotional needs, financial needs, attention needs. By convincing you she has no one else, she manipulates you into thinking, if I don't show up, nobody will. And suddenly you're carrying a weight that was never meant to be yours. You're pouring endlessly because you think you're her only source. But the truth is, she's got other sources. You're just the one she's milking most consistently. Brother, stop falling for exclusivity claims without exclusivity proof. Stop letting a sentence override your sight. A lie can only control you if you accept it as truth. And the only reason this particular lie works is because it strokes your ego. It makes you feel like you won a prize. But let me tell you, a real prize doesn't require lies to keep you. A real prize doesn't need to say it's only you 20 times a week. A real prize makes you feel it through actions. The Word of God says you will know the truth, and the truth will make you free. But let me also tell you this, you will know the lie, and the lie will keep you bound. Bound in cycles, bound in heartbreak, bound in wasted time. And some of you are bound right now, not because you couldn't see the signs, but because you chose to believe the lie. But today is your wake-up call. So here's what you do. Watch patterns, not promises. Pay attention to what she does when no one is watching. See how she moves when you can't see her. Because real loyalty shows up in the unseen. And if her loyalty can't survive outside of your line of sight, then you were never the only one to begin with. And brother, let me remind you of something powerful. You don't need to be the only one in her life to prove your worth. You already are the only one in God's plan. You were fearfully and wonderfully made. Your identity, your calling, your purpose, they make you unique by design. Don't let desperation for exclusivity make you fall for manipulation. Don't let the sweet sound of "you're the only one" silence your wisdom, because at the end of the day, actions always testify louder than words. If her words say "you're the only one," but her actions say otherwise, believe the actions. Stop trying to rewrite her story with your hope. Stop trying to force exclusivity where there is only convenience. You deserve more than that. You deserve a woman whose truth doesn't need covering, whose loyalty doesn't need advertising, whose love doesn't need rehearsed lines. So I say to you, brother, take off the blindfold, hear the words, but test them against reality. And if the fruit doesn't match the tree, stop eating the poison. Because no matter how sweet the lie sounds, it will always leave you sick. But the truth, even when it stings, will set you free. And freedom is where kings live. And you, my brother, were born to be a king. Brother, let me slow down and lean in here, because this is where it gets serious. We've talked about the sweet lies, but now we've got to talk about the danger of believing those lies. Because when a man swallows poison wrapped in sugar, it's not the sweetness that kills him, it's the poison underneath. And that's exactly what happens when you buy into the words of a woman who is using you. You don't just get entertained, you get entrapped. You don't just get distracted, you get destroyed. See, lies are not just words, they are tools. Lies are weapons in the hands of someone who knows how to use them. And when you believe a lie, it doesn't just sit in your ears, it shapes your decisions, it redirects your energy, it rearranges your priorities. A man who believes a lie will give away his money, his time, his heart, his focus, and when the dust settles, he'll be left with nothing but regret. That's the danger. Let me break this down. Believing lies creates emotional blindness. When a woman is using you and you believe the lies she tells, you stop seeing reality for what it is. She can disrespect you, she can neglect you, she can take advantage of you, but you'll still excuse it because your mind is trapped in the illusion her words created. Lies distort your vision, and when your vision is distorted, you will walk straight into destruction with a smile on your face. The danger of believing sweet lies is also that it creates emotional addiction. Lies feed your ego the way sugar feeds your cravings. You know it's not good for you, but it feels good in the moment. And so you come back for more every time she says, "You're the only one," or "I just want to be with you," or "Nobody else makes me feel this way." It's like a hit. You're not addicted to her, you're addicted to the feeling her words give you. But that's the problem, brother. Addiction never leaves you satisfied. It leaves you needy. It's never enough. And before you know it, you've built your identity on crumbs instead of truth. And let me tell you something else. When you believe lies, you waste time. Time is one of the most valuable resources God gave you. You can get money back, but you can't get time back. And the enemy knows that if he can waste your time, he can derail your destiny. A woman who is using you is not just taking from your pocket, she's stealing from your purpose. While you're caught up in her lies, you're not building your vision, you're not developing yourself, you're not walking in your calling. That's the real danger. You don't just lose a relationship, you lose years of your life that you can't reclaim. Believing sweet lies also breaks a man's confidence. Because when you finally wake up and see that you were being played, the first thing you question is not her integrity, it's your discernment. You start saying, "How could I not see this? How could I be so blind? How could I let this happen?" And if you're not careful, shame will settle in your soul. You'll start thinking you're not wise enough, not strong enough, not valuable enough. And that's exactly what the enemy wants to use lies to not just hurt your heart, but to cripple your spirit. Now, hear me, another danger of believing lies is that it makes you repeat cycles. Because if you don't deal with the root of why you believe the lie, you will fall for the same kind of lie in the next relationship. Different woman, same spirit, different words, same manipulation. Until you break the cycle, you'll keep dating the same person in a different body. And it's not because you're cursed, it's because you haven't confronted the lies that keep drawing you in. And here's something I need you to catch. Lies don't just affect you, they affect everyone connected to you. When a man is drained by manipulation, when his confidence is broken, when his time and money are wasted, it doesn't just hurt him, it hurts his children, his family, his community, because now he's not showing up as his best self. Now he's distracted, depleted, and divided. That's the danger of believing sweet lies. It shrinks a king down into a slave. But let me encourage you, the same way lies can destroy, truth can deliver. The word says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free." That means if lies have the power to bind you, then truth has the power to release you. If lies can steal your time, then truth can redeem your time. If lies can break your confidence, then truth can restore it. And the truth is this: you don't need anyone's sweet words to validate your worth. You are already chosen, already valuable, already powerful in God's eyes. The truth is, you don't need to be addicted to lies when you can be anchored in love that is real. A woman who truly loves you doesn't have to convince you with words. She shows you with consistency. She doesn't have to rehearse lines because her life already testifies of her loyalty. She doesn't have to drain you to feel full because she's whole enough in herself to contribute to your wholeness. That's what truth looks like in relationship. It's not heavy, it's not manipulative, it's not hidden, it's open, it's honest, it's mutual. So, brother, here's my call to you. Stop treating lies like lullabies. Stop letting smooth words put you to sleep. Wake up. Stand up. Test everything by fruit, not by flattery. Don't let the danger of believing lies rob you of the life God called you to live. Because you were not made to be used. You were made to be honored. You were not made to be manipulated. You were made to be respected. The danger is real, but so is your deliverance. And today, if you can take this word to heart, you can break free from every chain lies ever put on you. You can reclaim your time, rebuild your confidence, and step back into your destiny. Because the truth, my brother, will always outshine the sweetest lie. Brother, let me teach you something today that will save you years of wasted time and buckets of unnecessary tears. Discernment is your shield. Discernment is your filter. Discernment is the spiritual radar that God has given you to detect what eyes can't see and ears can't hear. When a woman is using you, she doesn't come waving a red flag. No, she comes smiling. She comes sweet. She comes soft-spoken. She comes packaged in everything your flesh desires. But that's why discernment is critical. Because the devil never shows up looking like the devil. He always shows up looking like what you've been praying for. How do you discern the lies before they trap you? The first thing you've got to do is slow down. Lies thrive in speed. A manipulator wants you to move quick so you don't have time to process. She'll rush intimacy, she'll rush emotions, she'll rush commitment. She wants you so caught up in the rush that you bypass the red flags. But a man who walks in discernment knows how to put the brakes on. He knows how to say, hold up, let me observe. Let me see if your words line up with your actions. Let me give time the chance to reveal truth. Brother, time is one of the greatest discernment tools you will ever have, because time exposes consistency. Anyone can lie for a week, but it's hard to keep up a mask for months. Second, discernment requires you to trust your spirit more than your emotions. Your emotions will tell you, this feels good. Your spirit will whisper, something is off. Too many of us silence that inner voice because we don't want to face what it's saying. You feel the nudge when she tells you you're the only one I talk to, but something doesn't settle in your soul. That's discernment trying to protect you. Don't ignore it. God gave you that alarm system for a reason. If your spirit is restless, don't move forward until peace shows up. Another way to discern lies is to pay attention to patterns instead of promises. Anybody can promise you the world. Anybody can say, I love you, I need you, I can't live without you. But promises without patterns are empty. The Bible says you will know a tree by its fruit, not by its leaves, not by its shade, but by its fruit. What fruit is her life producing? Does her lifestyle reflect the loyalty she speaks of? Do her choices align with the exclusivity she claims? If the fruit is rotten, don't eat it just because it looks shiny on the outside. Discernment also demands that you ask hard questions. See, manipulators count on you being too afraid to press deeper. They thrive in vagueness. They want you to take everything at face value so their lies never get tested. But a man with discernment knows how to sit down and say, explain that to me. Where were you? Why doesn't that add up? Who is this person you mentioned? And pay close attention to how she reacts when you ask. A truthful woman will clarify with calmness. A manipulator will get defensive, angry, or try to flip the script on you. The reaction reveals the root. Here's another key. Discernment is sharpened by accountability. Sometimes you're too close to a situation to see it clearly. Your friends, your brothers, your mentors, your spiritual covering, they may see what you can't. That's why a manipulator will always try to isolate you, to pull you away from the voices that would expose her. Don't let yourself be cornered. Bring trusted voices into your life and listen when they say, brother, something ain't right about her. It might sting to hear it, but it could save you from destruction. Discernment also requires self-mastery. Let me explain. When you're desperate for love, desperate for attention, desperate for validation, your desperation will drown out discernment. You'll convince yourself that the lie is truth because it satisfies your craving. But when you are whole, when you are grounded in who you are, when you know your worth in God, you can hear a sweet lie and not be swayed. You can say, that sounds nice, but I know my spirit doesn't agree. Strength in yourself makes it easier to discern what's false in others. Now, let me talk to you about prayer, because discernment without prayer is incomplete. Some lies are so smooth, so carefully crafted that only God can reveal them. You can't Google discernment. You can't always research your way out of deception. Sometimes you've got to hit your knees and say, Lord, if this is not from you, reveal it. If this is a trap, uncover it. If she's lying, expose it before I get too deep. And trust me, when you pray sincerely, God will send signs. He will show you things you would have never noticed. He will open your eyes at just the right time. But brother, don't just pray. Be willing to act on what God reveals. Too many men pray for revelation but ignore it when it comes because they don't want the truth. They'd rather be comfortable in a lie than uncomfortable in the truth. Don't be that man. If God shows you she's lying, don't negotiate with it. Don't excuse it. Don't try to reframe it. Believe what God showed you and move accordingly. Because discernment without action is wasted discernment. Let me also remind you that discernment is not paranoia. It's not about suspecting everybody of lying. It's not about living in constant suspicion. It's about balance, being open to love but wise enough to test it, being kind but not naive, being hopeful but not blind. That's discernment, walking with wisdom while keeping your heart guarded. And here's the last thing. Discernment grows with use. The more you practice it, the sharper it gets. Every time you catch a lie, every time you trust your spirit, every time you walk away from something that doesn't align, your discernment muscle grows stronger. And before long, you'll be able to spot manipulation from a mile away. What once fooled you won't fool you anymore because now you're seasoned, now you're awake, now you're walking like a king with eyes wide open. Brother, don't let sweet lies trap you. Use the gift God gave you. Watch the patterns, test the words. Listen to your spirit, lean on your brothers, pray for clarity, and act on what's revealed. Because when you walk in discernment, no lie can chain you, no manipulator can derail you, no sweet-sounding deception can detour you. You will stand strong, free, and wise because the truth will always outlast the lie. Brother, let me talk to the man who has woken up, the man who has opened his eyes and realized I was being used. That realization can feel like a gut punch. It can make you feel ashamed, angry, and broken all at once. You look back at the time you invested, the money you spent, the energy you poured out, and it feels like it was all for nothing. But hear me clearly, just because you were used does not mean you are useless. Just because somebody mishandled you doesn't mean you are disposable. You are still a king, you are still valuable, and you can rebuild yourself stronger than ever before. The first step to rebuilding yourself is to forgive yourself. I know that's hard because men are taught to be strong, to see through everything, to never get fooled. And when you realize you've been played, you beat yourself up harder than anyone else could. You call yourself stupid, you call yourself weak, you replay every moment where you should have seen the signs. But brother, hear me. The fact that you were lied to does not make you weak. It makes you human. Even Samson, the strongest man in the Bible, got deceived by Delilah. So stop crucifying yourself for what you didn't know then. Forgive yourself so you can move forward. The next step is to extract the lesson. Every painful experience carries a seed of wisdom if you're willing to find it. Ask yourself, what did I ignore? What red flags did I brush aside? What need inside me made me vulnerable to the lie? Because when you understand the root of why you were used, you can guard that area in the future. The enemy only succeeds where we're unguarded. If you can locate the weakness, you can turn it into strength. Don't just walk away with pain, walk away with perspective. Rebuilding yourself also means cutting off the residue. Sometimes even after the manipulator is gone, her words still echo in your head. You'll never find anyone better. Nobody else will love you like I did. You need me. Those lies can linger like ghosts, haunting your confidence. You've got to evict those lies from your mind. Replace them with truth. Tell yourself daily, I am enough. I am worthy of real love. I am valuable without being used. The battle is not just external, it's internal. Until you silence the lies in your head, you'll still be living under her manipulation even when she's no longer in your life. Another step in rebuilding is to reclaim your energy. Being used drains you. It leaves you tired, distracted, and empty. That's why after a toxic connection, you've got to rebuild your energy by pouring back into yourself. Get back into your purpose. Reignite your vision. Reconnect with God. Go to the gym. Read books. Develop new skills. Do things that remind you of your strength and value. Because the best revenge against being used is not bitterness, it's wholeness. Show yourself that you are more than what you went through. Brother, you've also got to reset your boundaries. The reason manipulators thrive is because they know how to push past weak boundaries. Maybe you kept saying yes when you should have said no. Maybe you tolerated behavior you knew was wrong because you didn't want to lose her, but now you know better. Rebuilding means creating strong boundaries that protect your peace, your money, your time, and your heart. Boundaries don't make you mean, they make you wise. And a wise man doesn't let just anybody have access to him. Let me say this too. Rebuilding yourself after being used requires community. Don't try to heal in isolation. Shame will tell you to hide, to suffer in silence, to keep it to yourself. But isolation is where lies grow stronger. Surround yourself with brothers who can encourage you, with mentors who can speak wisdom, with spiritual family who can pray for you. Healing happens faster when you're not walking through it alone. A king is never built in isolation. He is sharpened by his circle. Rebuilding also demands that you give your pain to God, because some wounds are too deep for self-help. Some betrayals cut so deeply that only the love of God can reach them. Lay your disappointment, your heartbreak, your anger at his feet. Tell him, Father, I feel broken. I feel foolish. I feel empty. Heal me. And watch him take the very vein that was designed to destroy you and turn it into power that builds you. That's the kind of God we serve. He turns ashes into beauty, pain into purpose, weakness into strength. And don't miss this. Part of rebuilding is learning to trust again, not just women, but yourself. Some men come out of being used so wounded that they build walls instead of boundaries. They close their heart completely. They say, I'll never love again. I'll never trust again. But brother, if you do that, the user still wins. Because now she didn't just take your time, she stole your future. Don't let one manipulator make you doubt all women. Don't let one betrayal make you sabotage your blessing when it comes. Learn to trust again, but this time with wisdom, this time with discernment, this time with stronger boundaries. Finally, brother, remember this: being used doesn't define you, how you rebuild does. You may have been lied to, but now you're awake. You may have been drained, but now you're refilling. You may have been broken, but now you're rebuilding piece by piece into a stronger version of yourself. You are not what you went through. You are what you came out of. And if you're still standing, that means the enemy didn't win. So lift your head, square your shoulders, and step forward. Don't let shame keep you in the shadows. Rebuilding takes time, but every step you take back toward your purpose is proof that you are greater than what tried to break you. And one day when you look back, you'll realize the experience that almost destroyed you actually equipped you, because you'll never be used the same way again. Now you have vision. Now you have wisdom. Now you have strength. Brother, you were never created to live broken. You were created to reign, to rule, to thrive. And if you commit to rebuilding yourself with God's help, no lie, no manipulator, no betrayal will ever be able to take that from you again. Brother, let me bring this thing home, because it's not enough to just talk about the lies. It's not enough to just talk about the hurt. It's not enough to just talk about rebuilding. We've got to talk about what comes next. How do you position yourself for real love after deception? Because if you don't prepare your heart for love again, you'll carry the residue of betrayal into your future, and you'll end up blocking the very blessing God is trying to send you. So hear me today. Real love is still possible, but you've got to posture yourself for it. The first step to positioning yourself for real love is healing completely. Too many brothers try to jump from being used straight into another relationship. You want to numb the pain with new attention. You want to prove to yourself you've still got it. But let me tell you something. Unhealed wounds bleed on people who didn't cut you. If you don't deal with the trauma of the last manipulation, you'll misjudge a good woman because you're still looking through broken lenses. Healing is not about forgetting what happened. It's about being able to look at what happened without it controlling you. It's about reaching a place where you can say, yes, I was deceived, but I'm wiser now, I'm stronger now, and I'm ready for something real. Another step is to rediscover who you are outside of relationships. Sometimes men lose themselves in women who use them. You start defining yourself by what you give, what you provide, what you sacrifice. But brother, before you can receive real love, you've got to reconnect with your own identity. Who are you when nobody is pulling on you? Who are you when nobody is flattering you? Who are you when nobody is validating you? Until you know yourself, you can't truly discern who is for you. Because if you don't know yourself, you'll believe anybody who claims to know you. But when you're anchored in your identity, you can stand firm and say, I know who I am, so I don't need your lies to define me. Now let's talk about standards. After deception, some men swing to two extremes. Either they lower their standards because they're desperate not to be alone, or they raise them unrealistically because they're trying to protect themselves. Neither is healthy. Positioning yourself for real love means establishing balanced, non-negotiable standards. Know what you require in character, in values, in consistency, but also know the difference between a standard and a fantasy. No woman is perfect, but a real woman will be honest, loyal, and consistent. Don't compromise on the essentials, but don't sabotage yourself by expecting flawlessness either. Another critical piece is discernment. We talked about it earlier, but now that you've been deceived once, you've got to sharpen that discernment even more. Real love will stand the test of discernment. A woman with pure intentions won't be afraid of your questions. She won't run from your boundaries. She won't crumble under observation. If she's real, she'll respect your wisdom. That's why discernment isn't about pushing people away. It's about protecting your heart long enough to recognize what's genuine. Brother, you've also got to position yourself for love by learning how to give without losing yourself. Many times when a man has been used, he becomes afraid to give it all. He says, I'll never open my wallet, I'll never open my heart, I'll never open my time. But that's not the answer. Love requires giving. The key is learning how to give with wisdom. Don't give to manipulate. Don't give to buy affection. Don't give beyond your boundaries. Give from a place of strength, not desperation. Because when you give wisely, you won't feel drained, you'll feel empowered. Another way to position yourself is to test for reciprocity. Real love is mutual. It's not just you pouring and her receiving, it's a flow. When you give, she gives. When you invest, she invests. When you show up, she shows up. A woman who is sent by God will not just take, she will multiply. You'll notice that your life gets better, your spirit gets lighter, your purpose gets clearer. That's how you know you've stepped into something real. It doesn't drain you, it develops you. Let me also remind you, brother, that positioning yourself for real love requires patience. Don't let loneliness push you into the arms of another user. Don't let your biological clock or societal pressure rush you. Real love takes time. A house that's built too fast usually isn't built too strong. Wait on God's timing. Wait for the one who's aligned with your destiny, not just your desires. Because when she comes, you'll realize the wait was worth it. And don't miss this. While you're waiting for real love, focus on becoming real love yourself. Too many men are focused on finding the right woman without working on being the right man. Ask yourself, am I healed enough to love properly? Am I disciplined enough to protect her heart? Am I consistent enough to build a future? Because real attracts real. If you want authentic love, you've got to be authentic yourself. Finally, brother, keep God at the center. Real love is not just about compatibility, it's about covenant. It's not just about chemistry, it's about calling. The kind of love that lasts is rooted in God's design, not human manipulation. When you let God lead your relationships, He'll steer you away from counterfeits and align you with the woman who will complement your destiny. That's not just romance, that's kingdom partnership. And when you have that, no sweet lie can compare. So let me leave you with this. Deception was a chapter, but it's not your story. Being used was an experience, but it's not your identity. You can position yourself for real love by healing, rediscovering yourself, setting standards, sharpening discernment, learning to give wisely, testing for reciprocity, being patient, working on yourself, and keeping God at the center. Do that, and you not only attract real love, you'll be ready to sustain it. Brother, the lies tried to break you, but the truth will build you. The betrayal tried to destroy you, but it's actually preparing you. And when the right woman comes, you'll realize that every tear, every disappointment, every sleepless night was just training ground. Because now you won't settle for imitation, you'll only accept the authentic. And that, my brother, is how you position yourself for real love after deception.